everybody, and welcome back to the Russian lessons. In this lesson we are going to consider the topic of family. Let's start. To say in Russian "this is my family", you can say "это моя семья". Well, the first two words you're supposed to know already. The last word, семья, means family. Это моя семья. Now, before describing somebody's family, let's see how to say the members of the family in Russian. Mother is мать. Father is отец. But these words are very formal, and actually if you call your mom моя мать, it sounds even a bit offensive. So better to use something like mom and dad. Mom in Russian is mama, and dad is papa. So, this is my mother, это моя мама. This is my dad, is это мой папа. Brother and sister. Brother is брат, sister is сестра. It sounds similar, doesn't it? Brother, брат, sister, сестра. So, to say this is my brother, это мой брат. This is my sister, это моя сестра. Mother and father together, so parents would be родители. Родители. Okay, now how do we say son and daughter? Son is сын, сын, with the letter U that is very difficult to pronounce if you don't have the sound in your language. Сын, U, сын. And daughter is дочь, дочь. Daughter, дочь. Son, сын. Daughter, дочь. Once again, it sounds a bit similar, doesn't it? But it's a good thing, so it's easier to learn for you. You'll have associations with your language, well, or with English. And to say son and daughter together, which means children, is дети, дети. So, parents, родители, children, дети. Родители, дети. Now to say grandfather and grandmother. Grandfather is дедушка, grandmother is бабушка. Дедушка, grandfather, бабушка, grandmother. And to say husband and wife is муж, husband, жена, wife. Муж, husband, жена, wife. Now we're going to see possessive adjectives. Some of them you already know. For example, when we were saying his name is, его зовут, her name is, ее зовут, so его and ее are actually possessive adjectives in Russian for his and her. And I already mentioned мой, моя to mean my, but we are going to see more forms. One very important thing is to remember that in Russian we have three genders of nouns. We have masculine, we have feminine, and we have neutral. I can imagine that for you maybe neutral form should sound a bit weird, but still, we have the specific terminations for each kind of these nouns, and this we are going to consider more in details in the following lesson, but in this lesson let's just focus on possessive adjectives. So for each of these nouns we have specific terminations of possessive adjectives. So for example, if you want to say my father, father is masculine, of course, so you say мой папа. Мой папа. If you want to say my table, table is also masculine in Russian, стол. You say also мой стол. So with all the nouns in masculine, you use the possessive adjective мой, my, мой. If you want to say my mother, it's моя мама, моя мама. If you want to say my book, book in Russian is also feminine, you say моя книга. Моя книга. So for all the feminine nouns, you use моя, my, моя. When you have a noun in neutral, of course a neutral is not a person, it's something, and sometimes abstract things, but not always. For example, coffee is a neutral noun in Russian, кофе, and also affair or task, дело, is also neutral. So you could say my coffee, моё кофе, and my affair, моё дело, моё дело. So with the nouns in neutral, you have to use the possessive adjective Моё. Моё. Okay, now you can describe your family in Russian because to describe your family you use only the possessive adjective my. Alright, let's try. Imagine that you have a picture and you want to describe what you see there. You can say «Это моя мама. Ее зовут Александра. Это мой папа. Его зовут Николай. Это моя сестра. Ее зовут Екатерина. Это мой брат. Его зовут Иван. Это моя бабушка. Ее зовут Анна. Это мой дедушка. Его зовут Дмитрий. Very well, so little by little you start learning to talk in Russian and to describe things. Now we're going to see some more possessive adjectives, not only my, not only his or her, but also your, our, their, etc. Here you're going to see a table for masculine, feminine and neutral genders and all the forms that you have to memorize. For every kind of noun, masculine, feminine and neutral, you have to memorize these possessive adjectives. And it's one of the most difficult things of Russian because you have to memorize so many forms. But try to do it because it's just super basic, it's very important. So with nouns and masculine, for example, table, stol, to say my table, it's мой стол. Мой стол. Your table, like you singular. Твой стол. Это твой стол. Your table. His table, we already know. Его стол. Это его стол. Her table. Это ее стол. Ее стол. This is our table. Это наш стол. Наш стол. This is your table, plural or formal. Это ваш стол. Ваш стол. And this is their table. Это их стол. Это их стол. Feminine. Some forms are the same, some ones are slightly different. So to say my book, моя книга. To say your book, твоя книга. Его книга, ее книга. This doesn't change. Наша книга, our book, ваша книга, your book, and их книга, it doesn't change. So you can see the third person, singular and plural, don't change the form, it's the same, his, her or their. And finally with words in neutral, for example, letter, письмо, моё письмо, my letter, твоё письмо, your letter, его письмо, ее письмо, наше письмо, our letter, ваше письмо, your letter, and их письмо, their letter. And to conclude today's lesson, I'm going to generalize the idea of these genders and how you can recognize a noun in masculine, feminine, or neutral. Here you can see a table with some examples of nouns in masculine, feminine and neutral, and let's try to analyze it a bit. Normally nouns in masculine have no ending of vowel, so they end with a consonant. For example, stol, table, stool, chair, карандаш, pencil. There are some exceptions, so be careful with them, it doesn't always work. So for example, дедушка, grandfather, of course it's masculine, but it terminates with the vowel a, дедушка. Still, it's masculine, not feminine. Музей is finished with и краткое, и short, музей, but it's also masculine. So some of these exceptions you have just to memorize. Feminine nouns are usually terminated on a, я, and soft sign, мягкий знак. For example, книга, book, ручка, pen, тетрадь, notebook, семья, family, familia, last name. And the nouns in neutral usually have the ending о, е. For example, письмо, letter, кофе, дело, o, affair, you remember I mentioned before, море, sea, упражнение, exercise, Now you can exercise yourself just indicating some objects that you have in your house or with friends or somewhere else or just in a picture. And you can say, this is my book, this is his book, this is her table, this is his chair, and so on and so forth. In this way you will memorize better the possessive adjectives, and also you will distinguish better feminine from masculine and from neutral nouns. And that's it for this part of the third lesson. You have enough of information to practice, and see you very soon in the second part of the third lesson. Bye bye!